briefing, allow me to invite the chairperson of the post-cabinet press briefing, the Honourable Minister of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services, Dr. Soda, to present today's cabinet highlights. Over to you, Minister.
Thank you, Chief Secretary. Allow me to welcome the ministers who are joining us during this 10th post-cabinet press briefing. We have in our midst Honourable Professor Amon Murwira. We also have Honourable Daniel Garwe and the Honourable Edgar Moyo. The other ministers will be joining us shortly. Honourable Ziambi, Honourable Ambassador Shava, and Honourable Dr. Evelyn Lofu. Today, the 14th of April 2026, His Excellency the President, Dr. C.G.D.N Chiwenga, chaired the 10th Cabinet meeting, and the following issues, among others, were considered and approved. Cabinet received and approved the minerals value chain from mining to beneficiation, industrialization, and exportation framework as presented by Honourable Vice President General Retired Dr. C.G.D.N Chiwenga. Cabinet has adopted a robust framework aimed at transitioning Zimbabwe from a primary source extraction and exports entity into a globally competitive minerals-based industrial manufacturing hub. The framework seeks inter-alia to protect the national interest by closing the leakages that have perennially prejudiced the country of huge earnings from its vast mineral wealth. The framework is anchored on four main pillars as follows. Number one, mineral-specific architecture and mandatory standards, which sets out legally binding minimum processing standards. It specifies the new mandatory requirements for a value-added compliance certificate for any export permit to be issued. Number two, National Minerals Research and Analytical Scientific Laboratory Infrastructure pillar, under which government will end the costly and risky reliance on foreign laboratories for mineral certification through the decentralized network of specialized analytical hubs co-located at national universities or scientific institutions, with each institution serving as a dedicated referee for specific mineral clusters within the region. For example, the National Mineral Research Center at the University of Zimbabwe will function as the apex hub for all minerals, including lithium, rare earth elements, and uranium, whilst NAFT at Great Zimbabwe University will anchor PGMs and battery minerals. Other decentralized arrangements will proceed as follows. One, Midlands State University will provide analytical oversight for iron ore, chrome, and vanadium corridors. Number two, Manicaland State University of Applied Sciences will focus on national diamond and gemology suites. Number three, Chinhoyi and Bindura University will specialize in industrial minerals, phosphates, and graphite. Four, Banda State University to serve Matabeleland South Province on geology, beneficiation, and artisanal and small-scale miners. And number five, the Zimbabwe School of Mines will be an integrated core hub for specialized training. Mine to market operational control system pillar that will focus on smart tracking of mineral exports to secure value by preventing leakages and fraud through the adoption of a secure and real-time mine-to-market smart corridor. The mine-to-market system will provide a comprehensive end-to-end audit trail that tracks every mineral consignment from the point of extraction through to the final port of exit, thereby safeguarding national wealth and enhancing transparency across the entire value chain. The fourth pillar, integrated special economic zone, under which the country's integrated special economic zones shall support both new and existing ventures. New investors will be directed to specialized regional hubs such as the Northern Battery Minerals or Midlands Metallurgical zones, where they can share infrastructure and scale operations efficiently. 8 regional minerals beneficiation special economic zones or hubs shall be strategically positioned to transform the country's provinces. The 4 pillars shall be supported by key enablers, including reliable energy and affordable power supply, energy self-generation incentives for beneficiation projects, and environmental, social, and governance initiatives. Other initiatives include strengthening of the Ministry of Mines and Mining Development to undertake the added responsibilities. Cabinet also approved a robust and consolidated legal framework which will operationalize the mineral value chain. Cabinet received and approved a report on the tour of economic flagship projects in Manicaland Province as presented by Honourable Vice President General retired Dr. C.G.D.N Chiwenga. The tour covered the following projects: Roa Minerals Limited, Sabistar Lithium Mine, Verify Engineering Private Limited, Tanganda Tea Company, Ariston Holdings Limited, Matanuska, Manica Boards and Doors, and Willowton Group. It established the existence of huge potential for multi-sectoral capacity utilization and investment opportunities across mining, agriculture, manufacturing, energy, and tourism sectors in Manicaland Province. The government has identified systemic challenges in infrastructure, high cost of doing business, limited access to capital, and insufficient value addition. The strategic interventions underway include, among others, the following. 1. The National Energy Response Strategy to enhance self-sufficiency in the wake of the global energy crisis. Number 2, enhance the private-public partnerships in road rehabilitation in exchange for tax incentives and exemptions. Number 3, ease of doing business reforms for the tea subsector, including structural and corporate governance reforms in public companies and state-owned enterprises. Number 4, accelerated minerals value addition and beneficiation. And the 5th, the recapitalization of government-owned companies. Honorable Daniel Garwe, on behalf of Honorable Vice President Gen retired Dr. C.G.D.N, the Chairman of the Cabinet Committee on State Occasions and National Monuments, presented an update on preparations for the 46th Independence Day anniversary celebrations, the 2026 Children's Party and Legacy construction projects in Matabeleland South Province, which was adopted by Cabinet. Preparations for the 2026 Independence Day celebrations, the Children's Party, and legacy infrastructure projects are well advanced, with most expected to be completed prior to the celebrations. Key construction activities at the main arena, the stadium, and access roads are on schedule to be completed by the 15th of April 2026. The construction of major access roads, including Bulawayo Mapisa and Gwanda Mapisa, is ongoing and targeted for completion by August 2026. In the interim, measures will be taken to ensure these roads are trafficable and the tours are closed in time for the event. Repairs to stormwater drainage, grading, and graveling are underway on other major roads, including Mapisa Mfowengs, Sanyetsen Manama, and St. Joseph Sanyetsen, as part of ongoing maintenance works to improve access to the celebration venue. The Children's Party is scheduled for the 17th of April 2026 at Maheche Primary School, with 3,050 child delegates participating. His Excellency, the President, Comrade Dr. Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, will host the event. Meanwhile, the Independence Torch Relay commenced on the 10th of April 2026 with the lighting of the flame at Zezani Assembly Point in Matebeleland South, which was officiated by Honourable Vice President Dr. C.G.D.N Chiwenga. The torch is being conveyed through districts in the province and will be received at Ratanyana Liberation Site on the 17th of April 2026 by Honourable Vice President Dr. Mohadi. It will then proceed to Mapisa, where athletes will hand it over to His Excellency the President on the Independence Day. Logistical arrangements including transport, food, security, invitations, and media are in place. Power supplies were established and several previously stalled projects have been completed, including the JMN Nkomo Polytechnic, Home Economics Block at Rwanda Polytechnic, renovation of 34 government properties, the Beit Bridge Redevelopment Housing Project, the Insiza District Civil Registry, and Keze Rural Hospital Rehabilitation. Additionally, youth training in digital skills is ongoing, whilst housing for liberation war veterans is being prioritized. Cabinet received and approved a report on the implementation of the job evaluation exercise, recommendations and emerging issues as presented by the Minister of Public Service, Labour and Social Welfare. Following the adoption of the Public Service Commission job evaluation exercise by Cabinet on the 10th of September 2024, the following milestones have since been achieved. 1. Job evaluation exercises for independent commissions and grant-aided institutions, uniformed forces sector, health services sector, higher and tertiary education sector, and foreign missions have been completed. Number 2, misaligned grades of the same jobs across public service, health service sector, and independent commissions and grant-aided institutions have been realigned. Number 3, a new remuneration framework for the public sector is already being implemented. Number 4, a competence framework for the public service has been completed. And number 5, duplications and overlaps in certain job functions are still being consulted in liaison with the Office of the President and Cabinet. Cabinet received and approved the principles on amendments to the Geographical Indications Act, which was presented by the Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs as Chairman of the Cabinet Committee on Legislation. The principles seek to amend the registration and protection of indications, identifying products as originating in a particular area as enacted in 2001 in the Geographical Indications Act, Chapter 26.06. The amendments will align the Act to international best practices, including the World Intellectual Property Organization's Geneva Act of the Lisbon Agreement and the African Regional Intellectual Property Organization Model Law on Geographic Indications. The amendments also seek to facilitate effective implementation, prevent the private capture of collective names, and strengthen the protection of Zimbabwean geographical indications in a digital and global trade environment. Cabinet received and approved a report on the 15th session of the Conference of Parties to the Convention on Migratory Species as presented by the Minister of Environment, Climate and Wildlife, Honourable Dr. Evelyn Ndlovu. The Minister of Environment, Climate and Wildlife led a delegation to the 15th session of the Convention on the Conservation of Migratory Species in Campo Grande, Brazil from the 23rd to the 29th of March 2026. Zimbabwe's participation underscored the country's commitment to collaborative conservation of migratory animals such as elephants, birds, and other species. In particular, the delegation sought to advance the country's interests, namely the inclusion of the declining Zimbabwean cheetah population under the Convention on the Conservation of Migratory Species, Appendices number 1 and 2, the removal of barriers to migration and the protection of the vital corridors, the standardization of conservation protocols for carnivores, and the need to promote strategies to counter the global decline of species. The convention successfully pushed for increased ecological connectivity, resonating with Zimbabwe's efforts to manage transboundary wildlife corridors for posterity and prosperity. The convention expressed support for the African Carnivores Initiative as the primary framework for managing carnivores, and also adopted the Pantanal Declaration on Regional and International Collaboration on the Management of Transboundary Wildlife. More significantly, Zimbabwe won the right to host the Conference on the Conservation of Migratory Birds of Prey in November 2026. Cabinet received reports on progress made in the implementation of priority projects for the first 100-day cycle of 2026, as presented by the Ministers of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, Public Service, Labor and Social Welfare, and Local Government and Public Works. The Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, Honourable Ziyambi, highlighted the following achievements under his purview. 1. Deployment of 4 out of the targeted 7 online application processes, namely deeds of grants, deeds of transfer, validation and deeds reissuance, and mortgage bond. Number 2, establishment of offices in Nyanga District, Manicaland Province is progressing well. Number 3, the overall progress on ground floor plastering and installation of roof covers for courtrooms and magistrates' offices at Rwanda new court complex in Matabeleland South Province has reached 92% of completion. Number 4, construction of Kwekwe new magistrate court in Midlands Province has reached 65% of completion, while construction of Cowdrey Park new magistrate court in Bulawayo Metropolitan Province is at 40%. The 5th project, establishment of the integrated electric case management systems in Manicaland and Mashonaland East provinces, is almost complete. And the 6th, a total of 551 inmates against the target of 400 inmates were trained in agricultural production projects at Anju, Mazowe, Mutimurefu, Ridigita, and Hurungwe prisons, while a total of 100 inmates against a total of 90 inmates were trained in construction skills under the construction of institutional facilities projects. The Minister of Public Service, Labor and Social Welfare, Honourable Edgar Moy, reported progress on projects under his purview as follows. 1. Construction of Glaudina high-rise flats Phase 2 in Harare Metropolitan Province is on course to meet the planned target. The 2nd, the overall progress on the construction of 300 houses under the Accelerated Presidential Housing Scheme, Range More Phase 2 in Bulawayo Metropolitan Province has reached 67% of completion. Number 3, disbursement of revolving loan facility to 17,604 pensioners against the set target of 20,000 beneficiaries. Number 4, prosthetic equipment has been procured from Germany for the establishment of a workshop in Bulawayo Metropolitan Province, and shipping arrangements to Zimbabwe are underway. Number 5, procurement of equipment and the registration of regional pharmacies in Chinhoyi and Mutare is on track to meet planned targets. The overall progress on the construction of Madokero Mall residential in Harare Metropolitan Province has reached 90% of completion, while the overall progress on the construction of the North Court perimeter wall guard room in Mount Habden, Mashonaland West Province has reached 45% of completion. In terms of the infrastructure development and housing pillar, under the National Development Strategy number 2, the Minister of Local Government and Public Works, Honourable Daniel Garwe, highlighted the following key achievements under his purview. Number 1, development of the Munumutapa Youth Layout Plans, namely the remainder of Klipsham Layout Plan in Masvingo Province has been approved, while the Victoria Ranch Phase 2 in the same province and Victoria Farm in Kadoma District, Mashonaland West Province are on course to achieve the set targets. Number 2, the construction of the new city villas and conference center in Mount Habden, New City, Mashonaland West Province are progressing well. Number 3, under the good governance, institution building, peace and security pillar of NDS2, the minister highlighted that the national reparations policy has been developed and submitted to cabinet for approval. Number 4, regarding the regional development and inclusivity through devolution and decentralization pillar under NDS2, the minister highlighted the achievements on the following projects. The Mapisa Stadium under the 46th Independence Legacy Projects in Matoho District, Matabeleland South Province is almost complete. The digitization of the traditional leaders information management system has reached 70% of completion and is awaiting the establishment of a dedicated server to proceed to the next phase. And a concept note for the establishment of the Local Government Institute has been developed, marking a significant advancement in efforts to enhance local governance and improve service delivery. Cabinet considered and approved the Memorandum of Understanding between the Republic of Zimbabwe and the Republic of Saudi Arabia concerning cooperation in higher education and scientific research, which was presented by the Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, Honourable Ziyambi, as Chairman of the Cabinet Committee on Legislation. The MOU establishes a framework for collaboration in higher education research initiatives and innovation, focusing on joint projects, student and staff exchanges, scholarship programs, mutual recognition of qualifications, and the development of institutional partnerships. The MOU's goals are to improve access to quality education, to boost research output, to enhance academic standards, and to strengthen the global competitiveness of Zimbabwean universities and research institutions. Cabinet received a report from the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, Honourable Professor Amon Murwira, who represented His Excellency the President, Comrade Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa, at the 11th Organization of African, Caribbean and Pacific States Summit held in Malabo, Equatorial Guinea from the 27th to the 29th of March 2026. The summit was held under the theme, and I quote, "A transformed and renewed Organization of African, Caribbean and Pacific States in a changed world, close quote. 7 heads of states and government, including President Daniel Chapo of Mozambique and King Mswati III of Eswatini from the Southern African Development Community region, were in attendance. The objectives of Zimbabwe's participation were to advance regional and international solidarity, to demonstrate Zimbabwe's commitment to integrating into the global economy through the Organization of African, Caribbean, and Pacific States, and to promote a peaceful, secure, and international environment conducive to national development and align with the Malabo Declaration. Cabinet noted Zimbabwe's active engagement during the general debate and the summit, and the minister expressed gratitude for support from the Organization of African, Caribbean, and Pacific States for Zimbabwe's bid for a non-permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council. The delegation also participated in the Roundtable on Sustainable Financing, the Organization of African, Caribbean, and Pacific States Business Summit. Bilateral meetings with Ghana and Equatorial Guinea were also held to strengthen economic and political ties for mutual benefit. I thank you.